Hello everyone, I'm Lynn from Lynn's Crafts Designs. Today I'm bringing to you a tutorial on faux labradorite. I've got 4 colors of Primo Polymer Clay. The black, the silver, the gold, and the pearl. And they're all just small amounts, and I rolled them out on the thinnest setting on my pasta machine. Now I've got a little palette knife. How you choose to dispense them is your own choice, but I've got Pearl X powders, and I'd love to tell you what colors they are. Oh, it's brilliant gold. I find these so hard to read. I don't know. It's blue. And then I believe this is the duo blue-green. Nope, it's the spring green. Okay. So I'm just gonna put way less than that. A little gold on the gold. And as I figured, it would be a bit too much. Still a bit too much, but it's doable. Then I'm gonna put a little bit, trying to get just a little bit this time. Of the spring green onto the pearl. Okay, that's a little bit better. And then a little of the blue on the silver. Okay. Now, the reason I did these as thin as I did is just to make it quicker to mix it up. So. And of course the clay won't stick to itself with the mica powder on there. It'll stick to any uncoated polymer clay, but it won't stick to where the mica powder is. So I'm just going to mix up the 3 of these. And after you really mix it up, it will stick together again. Just trying to put a little green tinge to this pearl. Okay. It even wants to stick to me more than it does to itself. Okay, so when I get these all mixed up, I'll be back. Now, since the Pearl X powders didn't add a lot of color, it just added the mica, I'm going to add some alcohol ink. And I'm going to add the lettuce to the green one, and literally just a drop. Okay, now you can either choose to spread that out a bit or just let it dry. So I'm just gonna let it dry. Okay, being that the alcohol ink is a transparent color, the mica will be able to shine through the alcohol ink. So once again, I'm just gonna mix these up. Until I get that green color dispersed all the way through. And this is the lettuce, and this is the sailboat blue, in case I didn't say that a while ago. Now we can start to see that green really coming through. Okay, so I'll finish mixing these up and then I'll be back to show you. Okay, now using the base, the black as a base, first of all, I did add an extra drop of the lettuce green and 2 extra drops of the sailboat blue, just to get the color right. Okay, so now back to where I was. Using the black as the base, I'm going to randomly tear these colors. And the point is not to leave the black showing through, but to lay the colors where some of them are on top of the other colors. My gold has fallen apart. Okay, just a little bit of the gold. And then I'll go back and just fill in where I think might need a little more blue. Okay. Okay, now I've got my pasta machine set on, let me see. Set on an 8, which for my pasta machine is the second to the thinnest. So I'm going to run this through and we'll see what it looks like. Okay, now that looks really good. So let's decide on a shape. I've got graduated cutters here. Circles and ovals, and I want the largest one of each set. Okay, so going for where there's a lot of blue, I'm going to cut a circle. And then same thing. going for where there's quite a bit of blue, but still some green and gold. Okay. Now, I lift this up. I don't really want to wad it up or anything. I want to maintain so I can still use that. There we go. Now, we've got the pearlescent colors, the metallics and the pearlescent colors on top. And we've got the black underneath. Okay, now I've taken another bit of the black Primo and rolled it out on a 4, which is a medium thickness. And I'm going to place just the circle for now. Let me move this where I can see it. Okay. Now it does look like we have a little bit of an air pocket. Or several of them. Okay. I'm going to move this oval out of my way for just a minute. Anytime you use your cutter to relieve something from your surface, one quick movement will distort the piece far less. So always try to get that one quick movement. Alright, now I've turned the piece over. What I'm going to do is with the back side of the blade, I'm going to start to make just some random cuts, and I want them to go all the way through the surface. Okay. Now we're going to take the rest of the black, a little bit of scrap here, or it could be another color. It's just the black because that's what I've got handy. And again, I'm going to roll it out on the thinnest setting. Okay. Now, all I want is a circle large enough to cover the back. Okay, now I'm going to run this through on not quite, looks like about a 6. Okay, and I'm going to run it through in this orientation. Okay, now I've got another little bit of black primo that I've rolled out on a 4, which is just the medium setting on my pasta machine. And starting with the oval, I'm just going to place it onto the black clay. Move this down here where I can see it a little better. Okay, now I'm going to turn this over to where the black side is up. Then I'm just going to take something, a toothpick would work. I'm going to use this knitting needle. And what I'm trying to do is to press that black all the way through to the other side. Does take a bit of pressure. Just be patient with it. Okay. Okay, now once again, I'm just going to cut strategically. Okay. Now, I'll just take a ceramic tile. This is just a ceramic tile, glazed ceramic tile, like you would put in the shower. Okay? So, I'm going to bake that. Then after I bake it, I'll be back. Okay, on this one, after I cut the slices into the polymer clay, I put a layer of translucent, also rolled out on my thinnest setting, on the top. So we'll have to see how this bakes up as soon as the others finish baking. And the scrap I turned into a bunch of beads. This one has the layer of translucent on top. The rest of them, other than these two, are just the faux labradorite mix we mixed up. These two were just the gold and black that I had left over. Okay, so once again with the corsage pin, and I'll pick a spot, and then I'll slowly start to spin it on the hat pin, on the corsage pin. That will allow the bead to, it'll allow my eye to be able to tell whether the bead is centered or not. Okay, now that came out pretty centered. Roll it in the palm of my hand, which will wallow out the hole just a little bit. Then I'll transfer the pin to the other side, do the same thing. See how it got a good spin on the hat pin, which lets you know that the hat pin is smaller than the hole, so the bead would just spin around it. Alright, show you that one more time. Okay, this one's got a lot of black, so I'm going to stick the pin into the black just so that the golden colored part of the bead shows a little bit more once it's strung up. Okay. Now, if they don't turn out completely centered, it's okay. It's just a bead. I always press the head of the corsage pin or hat pin, whatever you want to call it, into the hole to push that unfinished edge back into the bead. Okay, it gives you a finished looking hole instead of something that will catch on your stringing material, and it can either tear the polymer clay or, depending on what you use, tear the stringing material.